Ladies and gentlemen, this is David Mirikitani with another episode of Weighing In. We are brought to you by Nike Wrestling. Go to athleteps.com for all your Nike gear. It's just in time for the holidays, Mark. You can get your hoodies, you can get your t-shirts, you can get your hats, you can get your singlets, you can get those shoes. The Inflict 4s are out. The Freaks have been restocked. Love the Nike gear. Resolite.com. You and I were just talking about you have a mat in your garage. I have one in my basement. Mine's a Resolite. Paul Gilbert, Matt Gilbert, the Gilbert family, as good of a family as there is in the sport of wrestling. I will at some point tell a great story about the customer service, the godfather of wrestling mats, Paul Gilbert, gave out. And pureandclean.us, Ryan Freeman, Jake Bugner, those guys are awesome. They support everything that you and I do. So I just saw you 30 seconds ago. We just did 133. We'll just get into 141. Let me pull up the bracket from last year. Your champion was Jesse Mendez. One of my favorite wrestlers, Mark, took a loss at the Big 12s. That was a crazy, or 10s rather, where everybody kind of beat everybody, but came through the bottom side of the bracket. Tech fall, major. Bartlett in that epic tiebreaker match, and then beat Brock Hardy in the finals. Brock Hardy was second. Bartlett was third. CJ Composto fourth. Cale Happel fifth, but I think he's moving up. Coderhant was sixth. Frost was seventh. Vombar from the University of Minnesota was eighth. Round of 12 guys were Oliveri, Chappell, Sergio Lemley, Tegan Jameson, but you're going to have some changes there. Tegan Jameson is moving up. Sergio Lemley is redshirting. Dylan Ragusin is moving up. So that will be reflected in the rankings. Here are the rankings. Let me go over to here. Mendez, Hardy, Luke Stanich pops in. We'll talk quickly about if you like where they have him.
Yep.
Okay. CJ Composto, Vombar Romney moves up from 33. Anthony either Echemendia or Echemendia moves down from 49. Braden Davis moves up from 33. Ryan Jack comes back in off red shirt. Nasir Bailey moves up and has changed schools. Dylan Ragusin, we mentioned him. Then Julian Tagg, Joey Oliveri, Wyatt Henson, Vince Cornella coming back off injury, and Josh Saunders is also at this weight, so that'll be a battle for that spot. Aiden Valencia is a guy that will come in as a freshman, has some massive freestyle wins and near losses. I mean, he was 2 seconds away from beating Real Woods, who just took a bronze medal at the World.
Yep.
Carter Young moving down from 49 to 41 his senior year. A lot of interesting names there. I think Pearson Manville, the freshman at Penn State. And I did forget to mention a 133 that the younger Larkin is going to wrestle. And I am very biased towards him, but I think he's got a huge upside. And the older Larkin at 49, I think has massive upside. So let's start with your overall thoughts on the weight class and specifically Luke Stanich and the summer he had.
Yeah, Stanich was unbelievable this summer. Opened a lot of eyes. I think he's going to compete for a national title. He beat up Hardy to make the world team, if I'm not mistaken. Did he beat Mendez also?
Mendez did not wrestle in the U20s. He's too old. He was in the mix at the Senior Worlds, did not make it.
Okay.
I think what a lot of people followed Stanich was the number of matches he had with Bo Bassett.
Yeah.
I think he had a total of 5 of them.
Yeah.
And went, maybe it was 4, but he went, the last one, he teched him. I think he went 3-1.
3-1. Yeah.
He beat him at the U.S. Open, and then they did the 2 out of 3. Bassett came back through, and then he won, then he lost, and he teched him in the finals.
Yeah. Good weight, though. I mean, Echemendia would not shock me if he was in the finals of the national tournament. Braden Davis from Penn State, I'm not going to count out because he just finds a way to win. Nazir Bailey's been an All-American. Ragusin's been an All-American. Now you're down to 10 and 11. So, no, it's a solid weight.
I think Ryan Jack was either an All-American or a round of 12 guy too. So he comes off red shirt. Stanich, I think the other thing that was super impressive about Stanich was at the U20s, he was down like 8-0 and just broke him. Like, I think he came back and teched the guy like 19-9 or 20. I mean, people that remember the exact scores, I apologize, but the message is the same. Like, that guy is not out of it. Like, he's slapping the mat like, come on, let's wrestle. And I think a lot of people thought he was going to get outpaced by Bassett, and he just didn't.
Yep.
He did an unbelievable job. By the way, if you ever wrestle a guy who's a right leg lead and a right hand lead, and you just control his lead hand, it takes everything away from him. And that's what he did. Every time, when the vast majority of your offense comes off a snap, and every time I reach for your head, you clear the tie. I don't get tired. The other guy doesn't get tired, and I can't get my offense going.
Yep.
By the way, Jesse Mendez, one of my favorite all-time wrestlers. His chance to be a three-timer. We don't talk about that enough because we got kids winning, high school, doing stuff in high school, and he's a true senior.
Yeah, 4 straight years.
Yeah, 4 straight years. It was 5th, and then 1-1, and then X right now. We don't know, or question mark. X would imply he didn't place, but super special kid. And Ohio State is sneaky good. Like, when we get into these team rankings, which we'll probably get into next week.
Yeah.
Nebraska, really, really good team. Hardy, probably, him and Antrell Taylor, the leaders in the room there are the guys coming back along with like a Ferrari. But in terms of culture, guy that did a mission, kind of the opposite of Mendez, right? Like, he's probably a 6th or 7th year guy. I think he's married, so 2 very different stages of life. Yep. And Von Bauer's a guy, his dad's out there running that club that's in the P&L out in Colorado. CJ Campasto is a guy from UPenn that they're excited about. Seth Romney certainly looked tall enough last year, Mark, to go to 41 without any problems.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Nasir Bailey placed as a true freshman at Little Rock, didn't place last year, and then does the transfer along with Jordan Williams from Little Rock to Iowa.
Yeah.
So I guess we can get right into picks. I mean, I think unless there's something else you want to cover here.
No. Finding 8 guys.
I think there's one other thing that is massively interesting here. We have not mentioned Ono, who's at Penn State.
I heard they're going to redshirt Ono this year because he has a red shirt and 1 year of eligibility. So that's just what I've heard through the grapevine.
Entirely possible. Heard the same thing. But they have a very interesting combination of Blaze, Ono, Braden Davis. I think they all have red shirts. I mean, if you're right about Ono, he has one. We know Blaze has one because he hasn't started yet.
Sure.
And I think Braden Davis came straight out of high school.
I think he did.
Yeah. So.
And he's moving up. He's moving up another weight. Yeah.
Yeah. He was a true freshman at 25, won the Big Tens, made the quarters, lost to Figs close, then lost in the round of 12 match. Last year took 5th at 33. Now he's moving up to 41. So.
He's following that Kyle Dake performance minus the championships, but he's just moving up 1 weight every year. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Minus the championships. Might be the line of this podcast.
That's the important part, but I didn't want to say that.
Yeah. Like, okay. I'm clicking on Intermat real quick. They have the rankings.
They got Etchemendia a little higher. Yeah.
Yeah, and we will see Etchemendia against Mendez or Etchemendia, however you say it, at the All-Star meet.
Yep, this weekend.
I will say this. I think Aiden Valencia is a very interesting guy down there, and I think Pearson Manville is a very interesting guy down there.
Agreed.
I don't know if they break in place. And also, I heard Cale Hughes is hurt, which would make sense because they had Carter Young, and Carter Young's a guy that ran through the US Open a couple years ago in freestyle. Struggled last year at 49, got replaced at the end of the year at 49. I actually thought he made portal with that, but he is a Stillwater kid, so it's interesting to see that.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Carter Young lost in a wrestle-off this past weekend.
I don't know about that. Who did he lose to?
Kid from Arizona, David.
That doesn't help.
Okay.
All right. 41. Oh, Sergio Vega?
Yes. I think Vega beat him.
Okay.
Could be mistaken. I was just watching Flow, their show, and they said that Carter Young got beat, and I couldn't remember exactly who they said beat him.
Well, that would make sense. Sergio Vega was a 38-pounder last year, another true freshman. Oklahoma State's got a lot of, we'll say it positively, options in their lineups, right? Like
a lot of wiggle room there. A lot of good kids in that room.
Right. And a lot of unproven All-American talent.
Yep.
So, okay.
David, I think I get to go first this time.
Yeah. Let me get
you got your pen and paper to write it down?
I'm working on it.
I knew you would be. I'm taking Mendez to make the finals. I know that's a shocker because this will be his fourth time in doing so. And I'm going to take
third.
Okay, I'm going to take Luke Stanich to also make the finals.
Okay.
I just like what he did this past summer. And then my All-Americans will be Hardy.
Hold on. Let me do this. It'll be easier for you to see because it's just squished more.
Okay.
I think that helps you, right?
Yeah, that helps.
Okay. You have Hardy. Go ahead.
Hardy. Composta.
Okay.
Von Bar. I'm going to go Echemendia. However they say it. I'm going to go Brayton Davis. I'm going to go Nasir Bailey.
That's 8.
There you go.
Okay, so in the flow rankings, you picked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You skipped Romney.
Yep.
And you skipped Jack.
Yep.
Okay, you feel good about that? I'm just asking.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I'm like, listen, I missed a guy one time. Like, you scrolling through this. I just want to make sure. Like, I'm not being sarcastic. I just want to make sure you got.
I'm good with my choices. Yeah.
Okay.
You win your money picking the finalists, David. The All-Americans. If you get 7th at nationals, congratulations. I'm real happy for you because I was never able to do it. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the top part of the bracket. It's a loaded weight. I mean, it's really, really competitive all the way up and down.
Yeah. So the other thing we didn't mention about Stanich is he was an All-American as a true freshman at 125, and then got big, and that's when they brought in Crookham. And I think they were both 133s basically last year. And then Stanich, or maybe Stanich was 41 and they just bumped him. But Lehigh's going to be sneaky good, man. Their first 3 are as good as almost anybody in the country with Sheldon Seymour, Crookham, and Stanich.
Agreed.
I'm going to agree with you on the finalists. I'm going to agree with you on Hardy. I'm going to agree with you on Echemendia. And this is where it gets tricky for me. I'm going to put Dylan Ragusin in here.
Okay.
I like him.
I do too.
I'm going to agree on Vombar. I'm going to agree on Brayden Davis. And I'm going to take Valencia.
I knew that's probably what's going to happen.
Well, here's the thing. It's kind of like when, like if you go, hey, so-and-so should be on the all-star team. Well, you got to take somebody off, right?
True.
Like right now there's 70 coaches, coaching teams, whatever it is. And if you said who's going to All-American, and there's 25 All-Americans in each weight, And then there's a bunch of guys like, yeah, but if so-and-so gets hot, he could be in there too.
Sure.
You know, like and you should have an unrealistic belief in your guys. Like that should absolutely be a thing.
Yeah.
So.
No, I wanted to take Valencia. He wasn't on the screen.
Well, do you want to switch him out?
No, I'm fine with the guys I picked. I mean, it's just a crapshoot after the top 4 or 5 guys that I named. It's, I feel real confident on all but maybe just one of my picks. I don't know about Bailey, Nasir Bailey. If he's big enough to be 41, I know he went into a new wrestling room. It might kickstart what he used to wrestle like. You just don't know, and I guess we won't find out for a while yet. We'll see in 2 weeks when they have the national duels. So.
Yeah, 2.5 weeks. Like, you scared me for a minute because, but yeah, and I'll be at those, so we'll be able to do. We might go live from there, Mark.
Yeah,
I think it'd be fun.
Okay.
Here's the last thing I'll say about this weight. I feel super confident these top 3 guys make the semis of the nationals.
Oh boy, David, I don't disagree with you, but the 3-6 matchup or 2-7 matchup right now, if everything was what's on paper, Echemendia against Hardy, that's a tough match.
I think I believe Echemendia moves up to 4 or 5.
To 41?
To 4 or 5.
Okay.
To the 4 or 5
okay.
seed at the time.
All right. That makes a difference. Yeah.
Otherwise, I would agree with you completely.
Yeah.
And I think Echemendia might be the best guy in the country at this weight on his feet. Like, I mean, we've gone through this weight pretty quickly, so I think we have a few minutes to talk. Like the match he had with Parco, where he got the only takedown and lost the match because he tried to ride and got a stalling call and then a clasping call, and you're like, don't even. The guy picks down, just hold both your hands up.
Yep.
Like, I don't know if they're going to get him to learn how to ride. I think you almost just go, you're losing 1-0. Don't pick down. Don't try to ride. You had 7 minutes to get a takedown.
Yep.
Like Ridge Levitt he was beating Ridge Levitt, and then Ridge Levitt stood up and then, this is at Vegas, picked up Echemendia's leg from bottom and hipped over and put him on his back. Like, Echemendia's lost in those positions, and it's not his fault. I mean, he just wrestled an entirely different style of wrestling.
His entire life. Yeah.
His whole life. And then you're wrestling like one of the funkiest dudes in the country. I'm also interested to see at 49, like if he can make the weight and it doesn't kill him, he's a monster. Because he didn't look small at 41. I mean, 49. So if he can make 41, good Lord. By the way, Pinheiro beat Frost in the wrestle-offs too.
I saw that sudden victory.
And again, like Merrill lost to Benji Maurer, and Daniel Cormier is like, I never won a wrestle-off, which I don't believe is true.
Yeah.
But he's supporting his guy, other Kretschmer saying the same thing. Like, wrestle-offs are different.
They are.
If you're
first time being down to weight, or making a specific weight, they probably didn't have to go scratch, but I'm sure they had to get within 2 or 3 pounds of it. It makes a difference. And then, you wrestle these guys every day in the room. It's hard to really open up and do things because they know exactly what you're doing. So,
well, it's my own personal opinion that we can jump off. Like, I think public wrestle-offs are a waste of time. I get they generate interest, but they feel super disingenuous. Like, theoretically, a wrestle-off is supposed to decide who's on the team. Like, I remember Karchula lost last year and then just wrestled all year.
Yeah.
Caleb Smith lost to Cale Lordson last year, wrestled all year. Okay, then what was the point of the wrestle-off?
Yeah.
If you want to say we're having exhibition matches, we're having an inner squad, like, I think the terminology makes a big difference.
Yeah, I think that's what Iowa did. I think they just had matches where they had to make weight, and then they had a match, and that was it. They pretty much know who's going where, so they just do it to have the kids make weight, get used to the process, and go from there.
I agree completely. And I guess the last thing I'll say on this is, like, you were a coach. You were a head coach. I was an assistant coach. And I say this respectfully. You were older than me. So if I was on your team and I'm wrestling like so-and-so, Drew Bennett is killing me every day, and I get lucky and I pin him, or I know how to beat him, that doesn't mean I'm better. And conversely, if I'm just better than him, then I should wrestle. And if he hits me in a high flyer and pins me, that doesn't mean he's the right guy. The guy who's better is the right guy. And so you're in the room every day. Now, it doesn't mean coaches have a perfect level of judgment, and it doesn't mean they don't play favorites, and it doesn't mean a lot of other things. Like, maybe I'm a pain in the butt, and I don't go to class, and I'm bad for the culture and all that other stuff. So you pick the other guy. Okay. But that's also part of coaching.
Yep.
So to say, well, one 7-minute thing is going to decide 4 months is kind of absurd.
Yeah.
When you have data points, I understand that a series of 7-minute things decide who's the national champion, but that's just competition.
Yep.
So anyway.
And I think a lot of teams still use open tournaments. Like Iowa still uses the soldier salute to help do their lineup right before Christmas. So, I mean, that's kind of why I think they built the tournament in. I know other schools will send, I think Oklahoma State sending 2 kids at each weight at one of the events that they're going to kind of get more of a idea what's going on. Or maybe that's Iowa State. I think it's Iowa State sending 2 kids at each weight to the Iowa State Open to kind of get, locked in on who they want.
Well, we'll talk about Iowa State next week, but like, once they were like 27th last year because of injuries and red shirts and everything else, but like, they are a team that should be in the national duels.
Oh, without a doubt. Like, they're probably a top 3 team in the country right now.
They might be the number 2. They might be the number 2 dual meet team in the country.
They might be. That's kind of why I said top 3. I mean,
no. I mean,
right in that area.
I'm saying, like, you're talking about, I assumed that people listen, like, when you say that, I think of a tournament team. I'm saying, like, for duels, they have 7 guys that have All-American.
Yep.
That doesn't mean they're all going All-American. But if you have 7 guys of All-American and your other 3 are Connor Uten or Riggins, MJ Gaitan, who can pin anybody, and Isaac Dean, who's around a 12 guy, you don't have any holes.
Yep.
You don't have a hole where you go, well, we're going to lose this way. And if you go Steve O'Poulin, Frost, Echemendia, Frost / Pinheiro, Vinny Z, Rocky Elam, and Bastida, you're going to win a lot of those 7 matches.
You are.
So it'll be very interesting. I mean, that Iowa State duel is going to be fascinating.
It is.
So, all right. We appreciate you guys watching and listening. We're going to get these 2 out today, and tomorrow we will probably tackle 149 and hopefully 157. Thank you guys so much for the support. It means everything.